Shalawam. This is the brother Ra'aya,
Brother Amawad
of GMS New Orleans, coming at you with another sit down. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, RFID. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you endure unto the end. And to you few sincere Akwat out there, diligently learning in silence. And with this sit down, we're just going to get into how we put all our cares and, emotions and ways we feel about this society and the people in it on the Lord. Because in our day-to-day life, whether on the job or, dealing with family members or anything like that, demons are on these people. If you're not in the truth, you're in the matrix. So you're subject to those agents or those demons messing with you. And people are going to constantly be coming at us, especially as we get closer and closer to the end. Satan is looking to sift as many people as we can. So we got to be on that spiritual guard, knowing that these situations we get into, if we got to let the Lord handle it. We got to step back and look at it as like, look, this situation just came out of nowhere. This is clearly a demon, especially if it's somebody you don't even know that's messing with you. Like, you just got to sit back and think about it. And I was talking to a brother about this the other day. Somebody's cutting you off in traffic, or somebody's messing with you on the street or on the job, and they've never met you before in a day in your life. What reason would they have to be at odds with you? So why are you getting so worked up about it? It's clearly just demons messing with you, and you just got to deal with it accordingly with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we have through the scriptures. And with the precepts we're going to go into, one thing it's constantly harkening on is patience. Because having patience is wisdom. It'll get you out of a lot of situations that, that mouthpiece of yours can quickly get you into. But we're going to start it off with Proverbs 16 and 32.
It's the book of Proverbs chapter 16 verse 32. He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
Keep going.
And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city.
Hey, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty. Because what? You can be a mighty person with all of these skills and everything, but if you have a short temper, you're on a short fuse, and you're constantly going to be getting into situations, and you're going to need that might to get your ass out of it. But he that is slow to anger, what? Thinks a few steps ahead like chess and avoids the situation completely. What's that saying? I think it was in that movie War Games. It's like the best move is not the
best way to win a war is to not fight at all.
Hey, the best way to win a war is not to fight one at all. And it's the same principle in this society we in. The best confrontation is no confrontation. Because one thing could easily lead to another. You think you just cursing out some random person, but say it gets to you laying hands on people. A weapon may come out. Some bitch is talking spicy to you. You talk to her. Next thing you know it, she's calling all her brothers, her cousins, and everything. You get in a situation. The police get involved. It's just a whole situation that you could have avoided if you just ruled your anger and used patience to get you through things.
And this is especially true for men of the Lord. Obviously, the wisdom of the Bible could benefit anyone, but it's really written for us. All right, the Lord gave us his name. He gave us his will. He gave us the true understanding of who we are and who these people are. And once you have that understanding, there's no need for you to try to put your ego or name on the line in front of these. We have nothing to prove to these people. These people are nothing. They're nobody. So for you to get riled up at a heathen or even a two-third, it shows that you lack understanding. We know full well that we're about to rule over these people. We know full well that the Lord is about to destroy this place. So you're literally arguing with a dead body. You're arguing with someone who's a walking corpse. They're waiting for a missile. They have no hope of salvation. So you're arguing. Here it is. You know you're a king. You know you're a prince. You know you're a priest. You know you're about to rule, and you're arguing with a peasant. How does that look? Like when have you ever seen a king get off his horse and go walk up to a peasant and just start arguing back and forth? Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Oh, even that demon Kanye said it in that one song. What's a mob to a king?
Yeah.
That's all these people are, is a filthy, demonic mob.
Yeah, they're just dross. All right, gold doesn't argue with dross. That's not how it works. But
Gold isn't even seen to dross. They in two different categories. Gold is in a safe place somewhere, while dross is in the trash. You brought up a beautiful point. These are just dead bodies walking around waiting for judgment and a missile. We got a saying down here. What's a dead man's opinion? Because these people walking around us, the people you see, the majority of people you see in your day-to-day life, hey, they're about to be judged horrifically and get put to death. So what need is for you to lose your crown, this one and final chance of being in that elect number, over some scumbag, some scallywag in the world? None. You got a precept?
This is still in Proverbs. This is Proverbs 15:1. It says, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger."
A point blank period. A soft answer turneth away wrath. And what inspired to do this lesson was a situation I had at work today. And I didn't give a soft answer, but by me not saying anything, that's in a sense giving a soft answer. Because on the job, some situations came up to where I was late on doing one of my deliveries, because I do work where I have to deliver stuff. So I got back to the commissary late, and they'd already told us a week before, hey, we see that y'all are being late and stuff, so keep mind of that. So I was like, oh shit, I got a feeling somebody's gonna say something. So I get back to the job, and one of the people that's over me had an attitude with me, and was getting kind of spicy with me, and I could tell why. And you know what? Naturally being a man and knowing this truth, and especially having a heathen woman act that way to you, you just thinking to yourself, what are we even doing here? You wanna get all fire and brimstone to him. I was standing in my section thinking about, man, I'm really just at that point where I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a shit what you're saying. Just I was thinking that, but then a situation played out to where the heat was completely taken off of me and was put on somebody else. And also it had to do with me making another delivery to where one of the places we delivered to, it was a nigger woman, a Magilla gorilla looking nigger woman, that tried to put some heat on me at the job. But since I didn't get spicy or angry, the Most High put a spirit on another heathen at the job, an Edomite, to cape for me and be like, look, it's not so-and-so's fault, it's actually that person's fault. So by me staying calm and not getting out of pocket, the Most High created a whole nother scenario to where all the heat was completely taken off of me, and then the person that got spicy with me before was nice to me later on in that day. It was like, oh, thank you for doing such and such and that. So again, controlling that anger and being calm and patient is better than a mighty one, or him that takes a city. And a soft answer turneth away wrath.
Now would that have happened if you would have reacted like a nigger? It would have played out completely differently. You might have got fired. I
most definitely would have gotten fired.
Yeah. So the scripture says, those that serve the Lord, even you can make your enemies to be at peace with you.
We're gonna get that one later too.
Yeah. So there's no need for, if you're a servant of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, there's no need to stoop to the level of these peons, man. At the end of the day, they actually care about these jobs. We were just talking before the lesson, like, if we lose our job, we don't care. It's not a big deal to us. But they're thinking about their 401k. They're thinking about their children's children going to college. They actually love Babylon. So they're heavily invested in this world. And you knowing the truth, there's no reason for you to stoop to their level and get back and forth about the minutia of a job. We're just making our daily bread to survive until Yahawashi gets back. We don't actually care about this place.
Point blank period.
Oh, there's a little bit more on this. I'm gonna read verse 1 again. This is Proverbs 15, verse 1. It says, "A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. The tongue of the wise useth knowledge aright, but the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness." And
in Sirach too, it says, many great fires are kindled by that little member, that tongue. But just by putting that spit on it and quenching that fire, holding your tongue, they got that saying, biting your tongue. You can avoid a whole host of situations out here. And believe me, it's hard out here, especially, you got demons messing with you, just in your mind and your daily life, and then you go out and these people are messing with you. It's hard to, just sit back and just really stay calm and analyze the situation. But that needs to be done, because any little thing out here could be, any move you make could be the very last move you make. You got to start looking at it, you know, like this brother loves to play chess along with a bunch of other brothers in the camp. You got to be thinking, you know, 5-10 steps ahead of these things. You got to be playing spiritual chess with these people. We can't be playing checkers. You got to really be analyzing the situation and thinking, look, instead of me, because all it is at the end of the day is pleasing your ego.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm feeling like I'm less of a man, or if I'm getting disrespected and, you know, I'm not getting my licks back. That's a nigga mentality. That's a boys in the hood mentality. We can't be thinking about it like that. Look at these world leaders out here. Think if every time Biden or the West said all the shit they say to Putin, or these little attacks, these drone strikes they did to Putin just flashed out and it's like, you know what? I'm shooting tactical nukes at Ukraine. I'm just going and bombing them, which we know they're going to bomb America eventually, but I'm just flying off the handle and not being diplomatic about things. Hey, he would turn the whole world against him.
Yeah.
But what? Him being diplomatic and handling things like an actual king would handle things. Look, you've got these other nations seeing how hypocritical the West is, and enemies that his enemies are being made at peace with him and joining under him and the BRICS, and they're ultimately going to, you know, gang up together at the end and shoot those missiles onto America, that whore, and destroy them. Just like what the Most High is going to shoot these missiles on America, this whore, and destroy our enemies.
Yeah, that's a beautiful point, because this truth not raising us up to be kings. So how would a king handle a situation? That's how you should approach any type of alt, any type of variance in your life. Like, how would a king behave in this situation? That's if you believe. If you believe that you're an Israelite, that you descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you're a blood relative of YAHAWASHI Mashiach, and he's going to come back and give you a crown, you have to carry yourself like, okay, what would a king do in this situation? That's something that has to be on your mind constantly if you're in this truth. You have to walk as a king. Now what does it tell you in Ecclesiastes? We're servants. We're kings walking as servants, but we're still kings, man. We're royalty. We're Yasharallah, all right? Princes of the power. You got it, right?
Can you give me that Proverbs 16 and 17? Because I forgot a point, but you just brought it back up to my mind. It's like when you realize the lineage, the great lineage and legacy we come from, look at how our forefathers handled situations. Yeah, that should inspire you to act accordingly. Look at Yahawashi. Yeah. When he was brought before Pontius Pilate, did he buck up and say, you know what, Pilate, you a Edomite, you a cuck, you piece of shit, fuck you. He didn't say any of that. He said, thou sayest thus, and held his peace. Even when those wicked Pharisees were spitting and slapping on him, hey, he took it. He took it, you know, with calm and grace. And yet he went through his affliction. But what did it say afterwards? He's sitting at the right hand of the Father. So the things we go through, if we handle that, you know, with wisdom and patience, what does that mean? We're going to sit at the right hand of Yahawashi.
Real quick to back you.
You got it.
This Isaiah 53, verse 7. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before her shears is dumb, so he openeth not his mouth.
Point blank period. You can break it down.
Yeah, this is talking about Yahawashi. He was afflicted, but he didn't say anything, man. He took his complaint upon his own self, man. He knew that he was the greatest spirit ever created. He knew that he was about to inherit the earth. Why stoop to the level of this a fucking Edomite? Like, what? Jake really being that I know my rights, trying to prove to Esau that I've memorized the Constitution, all this nonsense, man. Yahawashi was, look, at the end of the day, I'm Yahawashi, you're a heathen. All right, it doesn't matter what you think of me. Okay, he said, thou sayest, like basically, yeah, you said it. Like, you got this. This is your world. We just let these people have it, man. That's what turning the other cheek is about. It doesn't mean be soft, be effeminate, be like the Christian church, just a total cuck.
It just face shave.
Yeah, shaving your. It's talking about letting these people have it because this is their world. This is their last time to rule. So of course they're going to be assholes and demons, man. Satan knows that. What does it say in Revelation 12 and 12? He knows that he has a short time. Mm-hmm. So of course these demons are going to be riled up. They're like, man, we this is our last hurrah. And
what Yahawashi say? If I wanted to, I could call down 12 legions of angels to just handle business with you. And what's it saying? Psalms 34, the angels of the Lord encamped around those that fear him.
Yeah.
If we cast all our cares and fears and anguish on the Lord is going to defend us. If we're still in this truth walking around, who knows how many situations around us could have easily have taken us out that we don't know about. But what is that? Because we the bigger man and just move in patience and wisdom and bite our tongues and get through these situations.
Yeah, that was a beautiful point, because Yahawashi had the power to completely eradicate every Edomite then and there, but that would have upset prophecy, so he would have been going off. Now, we believe that we're joint heirs with Yahawashi. We believe that we're going to have, as he told us, we're going to do greater works than him. That means we're going to be calling down fire from the sky like Elijah and Elisha and doing all of these marvelous miracles. If you believe that's coming, why would you get all worked up about a heathen? Like, it's really showing a lack of faith. If you believe that you are about to inherit the world, that you're about to inherit spiritual power, there's no reason to get bent out of shape about some heathen, man. You got it?
And I'm going to just, clarify real quick. If somebody, we're not telling you to be a doormat out here. Like if somebody, lay hands on you or something like that, you can defend yourself. But don't go out there looking for the trouble. And if you can find a way to avoid the situation without it, getting to a physical altercation, do that. That's what we mean.
Yeah, that's wisdom. Yeah, being a pushover, that's not the spirit of the man of the Lord. There's nobody in the Bible was just walking around letting people beat them. What religion is that where they have it's some branch of Christianity where they walk around whipping their backs? I forget what it's called.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. That boy in that Tom Hanks movie, the Da Vinci Code was doing. He was that monk was torturing himself.
Yeah, that's not in the scriptures, man. You're not supposed to physically torture yourself. Like there's a spirit. We have the Day of Atonement coming up this week, and when it says afflict yourself, that's talking about fasting. You're not supposed to beat yourself. You're not supposed to let people beat on you or be a pushover. That's not the spirit that we're coming in. All right, the Lord is actually raising up the house of David, and if you notice, when you have like that manly countenance, that Israelite spirit on you, that alone, like it causes people to not really fuck with you. You have this look on your face like, not today. And that in itself avoids a lot of confrontation, because people really don't want to get fucked up at the end of the day.
They already scared of you because you Jake, you got a beard, you look rough, you wearing them white New Balances. I'm joking, but
yeah, we surrounded by folding chairs. These people know what time it is.
Hey, you just reminded me another situation that happened at the job. A Edomite at the job came up to me because he had fucked up on making something. So he'd ask me, "Oh, what's going on with this order?" And he's like, "Do you know what this is?" Talking about one of the items, like it. And I got from his like, "Oh, you nigga, do you know what this is?" And you know what? I was just calm. It's like, "Yeah, you talking about this?" And said exactly what it was. And then he was just like, even the Ed next to him looked at him like, "Why are you getting on this man like this?" So later on in the job, he walks up to me and he would like look like he was in anguish trying to apologize. Not like because he was angry to apologize, but he was like, "Man, I offended this guy. How can I?" He's like, "You know what, man? I'm sorry. I was just under pressure, and we've been cool at the job ever since." But instead of being like, "You know what this is," and gave him the middle finger, I was like, "That's what that item is." I was calm with it. And then the Most High had him come and apologize to me, just like with this situation at the job. The Most High had a Edomite cape for me. It's like, "Oh, so and so didn't do this. It's actually their fuck up on the job." Actually, let's get that proper. Con. Proverbs 16 and 7.
This Proverbs 16, verse 7. It says, "When a man's ways please Yahawah, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him."
Point blank period. And how do we please the Lord? Walking in this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Actually moving our lives around this truth and reforming our lives and reforming ourselves and our spirits into being men of the Lord. And what does that call for? Patience, grace, diligence, not being carnal out here, not being like the carnal man, but being the spiritual man and following after these examples of our forefathers. Again, Yahawashi, when all these people were coming with these railing accusations against him, he stood there calm like a sheep and said, thou sayest so, and dealt with it with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And like with the examples I brought up, and a lot of examples, hey, other brothers can attest to in their lives when they just, were as calm as a cucumber, the situation passed by, and the situation actually worked in their favor. And one thing I've noticed is like when you in the situation, you hot, you angry, but give the situation, 5, 10, 15 minutes when it's passed, and you're like, man, I'm glad I didn't do anything. Like, if I would have just, shown my ass, I would have been in a bad situation. But this situation, it goes to show you how insignificant it was. It was really something little I was getting hot over.
Yeah, don't Don't let a temporary situation lead to permanent consequences.
Con.
Because at the end of the day, again, these people are heathen. Even Jake right now, if you're not in the truth, you basically liken unto a heathen. And the scripture says, when a man's ways pleaseth Yahweh, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. And, you know, the brother mentioned some of the ways that we please the Lord, and ultimately, the Lord is pleased by sacrifice, all right? Going back to Romans 12, we make our bodies a living sacrifice. So if you're a servant of Yahweh, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, you know, you coming out to the highways and hedges, you being a brother, the Lord is actually pleased with that. So anyone offending you is offending one of YAHAWASHI's little ones. And that comes with consequences. That's a grievous mistake that these people won't even realize that they're making. So you, again, just keep that in mind, that you're in the truth. When these situations happen, look, the Lord's got me. We actually serve the living power, the one true living power. All these other people, they're really serving themselves, which is what you do when you serve an idol. That doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. These people are serving their own bellies. They don't sacrifice for a higher power. So they're not going to be defended in that day. We have a counselor, we have a lawyer, we have a mediator, all right? We have a judge. We have someone that's the most powerful spirit ever, a king.
The king. The king of kings.
Lord of lords. All right, we have an advocate, all right? Our advocate is the greatest spirit ever created. You have to believe that.
That brings us into my next precept, Romans 12 and 19.
Con.
And I lost it. I'm trying to think of what was the point?
Oh, can I read
Con,
verse 2 first?
Con. I'm trying. There's one point I wanted. It'll come back to me.
Con. It's Romans chapter 12. I'm gonna start at the top. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service.
You got him.
Yeah, he's pleased by that, man. When you put off the ways of this world, you find out that the Lord's about to destroy this place. So you're like, man, whatever happens. You know, what does it tell you in Hebrews? Knowing that not Hebrews, St. Peter, the 3rd chapter, all these things are going to be dissolved. So what manner of persons ought you to be? So if you're getting in a carnal argument over some petty issue, that means that you're not thinking about all of these things being dissolved with fervent heat. You're actually trying to stay here and stake your claim. Like you used the word ego earlier. Jake really cares about being somebody in Babylon, which is completely against the spirit of Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. YAHAWASHI is treaded upon here. He's nobody here. So we have to come in that same stead. You can't be a servant of YAHAWASHI and then you're just some great nigga that doesn't take any L's in Babylon. YAHAWASHI took the ultimate L. So
to get the ultimate W.
Con. So if the servant is not greater than his master, what does that mean? We're gonna take L's, Jake. You're gonna get caught off in traffic. You're gonna get called out your name. You're gonna get put in certain situations. And if a person physically attacks you, obviously, like the brother said, you defend yourself. But
don't go looking for smoke.
Don't go looking for smoke. Don't go trying to agitate these people. Like, yeah, this fucking heathen. Like, come on, man. These people are less than nothing. All right. Isaiah 40 tells you they're less than nothing.
They spit.
Yeah, spittle. Would you argue with spit on the ground? Like, imagine you just see some spit. You like, what are you doing there? You spit. You messing up my shoe. Like, you would look crazy arguing with spit. But that's what you're doing when you argue with a heathen, man.
You just brought, and it goes back into this precept. What you were saying, it's a great offense to offend those that the Lord has as his beloved. And we know this is talking about wicked niggas, you know, leading Jake astray with false doctrine. But it can be applied to this. Woe to him that offended these little ones. It'd be better if a millstone were cast around his neck and he was cast into the sea. A great and horrific judgment is coming to every single person that offended the sincere of the elect. Abarat Zawir that number, and you sincere Akim and Akwat is that number. Nobody is gonna escape unscathed, as it says. Even the littlest word is gonna be held in remembrance. And we know that millstone is talking about YAHAWASHI and what he's coming as that great millstone to just destroy everything. Laser beams, the nukes, and that's even if they even survive up to that with all these other calamities of Jacob's trouble are coming. So as it's about to go into this Romans 12 and 19, hey, we don't take vengeance ourselves. We leave it all unto Yahweh bahasham YAHAWASHI. And some brothers have seen judgment happen instantaneously to these people out here. Horrific judgments.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 12. I'm going to start at 18. It says, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
If it be possible, because again, you know, somebody's laying hands on you, you defend yourself. But if it be possible, if it's an altercation you can avoid, hey, avoid it completely. Be at peace with all men. They not just, you know, 2/3 but these heathens as well. And again, I was at peace, at the job with these heathens, and it was actually heathens, Edomites, that were caping for me to get me out of the situation. That saved me from my own people, that nigger woman that was trying to put some heat on me.
Yeah, which again would not have happened if you reacted rashly, if you reacted like a nigger. All right, Jake get pulled over, start screaming, "I know my rights. You can't do this," all this craziness. You're talking to someone who, first of all, is a devil, but also is a human, well, not a human, but a person that's trying to get home to their family. You're this erratic looking Jake making sudden movements, screaming. Like, this is a person that you're talking to, not a machine. Or you have to know wisdom, man. You can't. Jake really put himself in a predicament where, like, the brother did that lesson the other day. Like, don't make your hell worse. Like, don't add to your own hell. If you know that you're an Israelite, you know this is Babylon, you know this is not our rest, you know this is a place of our captivity, why would you act as if you're equal to an Edomite in the eyes of the law, and you want to prove that you, again, Jake trying to get with the, what they call that, Moorish science bullshit, Jake trying to prove to Esau that he knows the law better than him. This is what we know better than Esau, this right here, all right? This is our law. Fuck Esau's law. The scriptures tell you, he just writes grievous laws. He just makes it up as he goes along, man. You dedicate your life to learning something that can be erased with an amendment. Like, okay, I went to law school, I went to prison, I went to the law library, I memorized the law dictionary. Then Esau just come along and say, fuck that. We don't have to follow our own laws. It's martial law right now. You spent 20 years learning the law just for Esau to do away with the law.
Exactly.
This is madness, man. Follow this. This is the law you're supposed to live by.
And what does this law say? If at possible, be at peace with all men.
Yeah.
Hey, you're gonna take a lot of stress off yourself if you just take the path of least resistance. Bite that tongue and just stay calm, cool, and collected.
Gone. Verse 19, it says, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahawah."
Point blank period. Avenge not yourselves. Don't go getting your licks back, but rather give place under wrath. They take the low spot. Use wisdom. Use patience. And as it says, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. And woe unto him that offended even these little ones. It'd be better if a millstone were cast around his neck. The Most High, everybody that offended you, even to the slightest offense, if it offended you, the Most High is going to get them back for it. And we're talking about Halalyam, the king of terrors, the great demon-like power. And it says in Isaiah that the Most High is going to bring their worst fears upon them as their judgments. Every single person out here is going to get exactly what they deserve, and they're not gonna have it eased up on them on an inch. They're going to get the full force and front on it. But in order for that to happen, you got to stay on your post. You got to use knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to guide yourself, and not try to seek your own vengeance on this side. Because just as easily as the Most High brought you into the truth, is as easily as the Most High can take you out of the truth. And you could be on the receiving end of judgment from YAHAWAH, bahasham, YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, the truth is a double-edged sword, man. You could cut yourself. And, the brother made a beautiful point. In the kingdom, man, we talk about this all the time. There's going to be specific heathen that we're going to remember. Like, okay, that's the guy that messed with me at the job. All right, that's the heathen that pulled me over, gave me a ticket. This is the heathen that screwed me over this way. We're going to actually call to mind the works that these people are doing. We're going to get the ultimate payback. So you trying to get your lick back now is completely out of season. All right, there's Ecclesiastes 3. There's a time and a place for everything. Now is not the time for Jake to just assert his will over Esau and his authority in his own kingdom. Which, Jake gets certain W's here and there, but for the most part, like I said earlier, we're coming in instead of YAHAWASHI, who was a sheep. He was led as a lamb to the slaughter. He didn't open his mouth. He didn't complain. He didn't assert his authority, which he has the ultimate authority. He sits at the right hand of the Father, but he knew he had a job to do. And if we're his disciples, we also have a job to do.
Hey, we're fishers of men right now, but what's that next part? There's going to come a time when we are hunters. YAHAWASHI in Revelation 2 bashed them with that rod of iron, and hey, we're going to get that rod of iron to bash them too. Everything is in its due season, like you brought out in that Ecclesiastes. We're not in the time to assert our full dominance and will. Now is the time, to do the work, to stay diligent and calm, and build up that wisdom, so we can be those kings, to be able to be level-headed to be able to enact the correct judgments and not be an asshole out here. Woe to you when your king is a child, an emotional bitch out here, just ready to burn the whole kingdom down just because you got offended, just because you didn't get your meal cooked the right way.
Yeah, you didn't have your way for one moment of the day, so now everybody got to, like, come on, man. But you brought up an excellent precept. This is Jeremiah chapter 16. Verse 16, it says, "Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith Yahawah, and they shall fish them." Now, a fisherman has what? Patience. You don't see a fisherman, he has the reel, he has the line in the water, and then the fish don't act the way he wants, so he just jumps in the water and starts slapping the water around. A fisherman is actually very patient, and he sits back and lets the fish come to him, all right? It says this, "Behold, I will send for many fishers," which we're fishing men right now, saith Yahawah, "and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks." So we're going to get our payback on these devils, man. Even starting with these elites, all right, the people that poison our food, the people that write all these wicked laws, the people that are actually up on high, because that's another thing. The majority of these heathen that we're going back and forth with, they're losers. All right, they're losers in their own kingdom. So if the top elites have their own people living next to Jake, that lets you know they don't even care about their own people. So you're arguing with somebody who's broken their own kingdom, man. All right, in the kingdom of heaven, no Israelite is going to be living amongst the heathen and going through the same tribulation with the heathen. We're going to be on a totally different level. So if you're a nigger, you're a Jake, or even if you're a man of the Lord and you're living next to a heathen, that heathen is a complete loser, man. And Jake doesn't want to look at it like that because Jake doesn't want to admit that he's a loser. But if you live by a so-called white person, or you go to work with a so-called white man, that guy's a loser, all right? Edomites that are up on high, they don't work with Jake. They don't have Jake co-workers.
Hey, that's a beautiful point you made, because a job I worked with once, I had to travel around to different neighborhoods, and I went to some neighborhoods that had mansions in them, but you had niggas living in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Then I went to some places where you didn't see a Jake doing anything but working on the house.
Yeah.
That Edomite was not a loser.
Yeah. They know what it is, man. These people are my servants. This is my kingdom. This is the servant class. All right. Jake talks about so-called white supremacy, but they don't want to accept the truth, because the truth is you're a peasant, okay, in this mass society. Even if you're a multimillionaire, Jake, if you make millions of dollars, there are people that are making billions off of you. There's no trillions, yeah. Like if they're giving an athlete $300 million, they're making more than that in one game. They're giving you that over 7 years. They're making billions of dollars a game.
Contract.
Man. Yeah.
They own the stadium.
Yeah.
They own the merchandising rights.
Yeah.
Like they go to sleep making money. Jake got to go on the court to make the money.
Yeah.
Jake got to work to make the money.
Yeah. And my job now, they pay me a decent wage, but they also let us know like how much our sales bring in. I actually make my company $1,200 an hour. Now, obviously, I don't make anywhere near that, but Jake happy to get a little, few crumbs. But I'm actually making these devils $1,200 an hour, man. It's wild. So even when Jake feels like he's doing good, I got a good job. You have a so-called good job because there's an Edomite that found a way to make millions of dollars a month from what you're doing. So he can give you a few thousand here, a few thousand there, because he's making millions. Mm-hmm. And once you know that, there's no victory to be had. All right, we have our small folding chair victories here and there, but as far as you being a man in this society, that's a no-go. You have to understand that your big victory is going to come when YAHAWASHI comes back, and we're going to have not only victory over the heathen, we're going to have victory over death. We're going to have victory over our own flesh. That's what keeps us going, man. Not, I told that cracker today.
And Jake spend the next month just living on. Some Jakes will spend years being like, yeah, I'm a loser now, but that one time.
Yeah, I told that cracker what it was. Meanwhile, you go back to work. Like, what are you doing? We're not gonna work in the kingdom. My son works.
And there ain't gonna be no folding chairs. Folding chairs are in Babylon. There'll be thrones in the kingdom.
Thrones.
No foldable thrones. No inflatable thrones.
Foldable thrones.
Kind. But I just got two more.
You got it.
Sirach 1 and 22. And then the last one's in the next chapter.
This is the book of Sirach, You said 1?
Chapter 1, verse 22.
1 verse 22. It says, a furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction.
A furious man cannot be justified, because when you're in your fury, you go blind. Like, you just go, what they call it, blind with rage.
Blind fury.
If it's on an emotional kick, you black out. You get in some crazy situation, and then when you unblack out of it, somebody's laying on the ground with their teeth kicked in. They call it the police. You just, all kinds of matters of situations happen. So a furious man cannot be justified, and the sway of his fury shall be his destruction. If you can't temper that anger, if you can't temper that fury, if you can't, quell that ego and feel like you got to get a win everywhere, hey, that's going to ultimately lead to your destruction. You get caught in any situation out here that if you would have just taken the low path, you could have avoided it. But now you're caught up. You gotta pay fines. You're in jail. You lose your job. You lose your family. You lose your kids. Shit, you lose your life ultimately.
And for what? A small little, not even a real victory. Just like a little asterisk next to your loss. All right, you're still a loser. You're still broke. You still have the heathen ruling over you. But you have this little asterisk. Oh, I won this one argument. Oh, I hit that one Edomite at the bar. But it's still his kingdom, man. Don't you want to rule, Jake? Jake, don't you want to rule over the kingdom, over the heathen in the everlasting kingdom of righteousness? Don't you want to, like the brother said earlier, we're going to have thrones. We're not going to have chairs. We're not going to drink out of plastic red cups. All right, we're going to have chalices like solid gold. All right, gold silk, gold forks, gold knives, gold spoon. We're going to eat. We're going to have everything that these heathen wish they could have. And they're in their own kingdom. Again, they're broke in their own kingdom. And you're a peasant arguing with a low-level Edomite, man.
Hey, these heathens want to be Spider-Man and Superman and all that, but Jake is literally going to be that in the kingdom. Some that they could never hope to achieve in any existence, that's what Jake's got coming to him.
Yeah, so let him have it.
Easily let him have it.
Yeah. It says,
oh, that was it on that.
Oh, it's a little bit more.
Kind.
Verse 23, it says, a patient man will bear for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up unto him.
Yeah, patient man will bear for a time. And look, we at the end of this thing. They at Whole Foods, they got the Amazon One thing where you can scan your palm. What's that being set up for? The Charagma. World War III's at the door. Societal collapse. This devil coming down in great wrath. We are there. So hey, we can eat this. Ain't like we back in the 80s. Shit, we ain't back in 1950. No, what, we are at the door of all hell breaking loose in our salvation. So hey, if you really taking this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to heart, hey, you're a patient man that is bearing for a time, and afterward joy shall spring up in him. And really, that joy is springing up right now. We're seeing all these prophecies we've been prophesying about for however long you've been in the truth coming to pass right before our very eyes, showing that this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that we've sacrificed everything in this life for, hey, it's finally starting to pay dividends. And we're ultimately going to receive that eternal W, that crown, and those scepters, those rods of iron, spiritual powers, dominion, and then we can get that payback. And when we get that payback, there's not a thing anybody can do about it. Can you imagine that, Jake? Somebody's entire existence, their children's existence, hey, entire nations of people's existence are going to be at your whim. They're going to be at your judgment. And there's not a thing they can do against it.
That's beautiful. That's what we look forward to. All right, that's the victory that even when small things happen to us, we know. What does it tell you in Romans 8? All right, the things we suffer now, they pale in comparison to the glory that we have coming to us. So there's nothing, man. There's nothing that should throw you off your square in this truth.
Hey, these heathens won't be able to go directly to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. So, and we'll be able to go directly to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. So what does that make us? Gods to them. Yeah. We are going to be their gods.
Yeah. When has the Most High ever argued with us? Like come on, stop. Like, God doesn't argue with his subjects, man. Neither does a king. All right, it's pure judgment. That's the mentality you have to have, Jake. Start looking at yourself as a king, as a God on the earth.
We just Sirach 2 and 14.
Sirach 2 and 14. Woe unto you that have lost patience And what will ye do when Yahweh shall visit you?
Woe to you that have lost patience. That can go into you losing patience in this truth and falling out, or hey, you losing patience and trying to get that little carnal win. What will you do when the Lord visits you? That one situation where you lose patience and get that W in could be your last situation. Last situation, you being in this truth. Last situation, you being on this plane of existence. So the key is to remain patient, calm, and walk in wisdom. Utilize wisdom to maneuver through society, because as we've been going into, and the beautiful points this brother has been making, we've got eternity coming to us. Eternity, eternal dominion, everything coming to us. Hey, if you desire, crowns and scepters and gold and all that, hey, desire wisdom first. And what has wisdom been calling for? Patience.
Yeah, real quick.
You got it.
The book of Colossians, chapter.
You can break it down.
This is Colossians chapter 4, verse 5. It says, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time." So we're really the only people that have the actual true wisdom of Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI. It says, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without." These people that are without the truth, they're without the name of the Lord, they're without salvation, they're without any hope of the kingdom of heaven. So walk in wisdom around these people. The scripture doesn't say boast proudly in your wisdom around people that don't know anything. The scripture doesn't say, promote yourself, exalt yourself around the heathen because you're an Israelite and you're better than them. No, this is the time to walk in wisdom and redeem the times. We're in the early stages of World War III, the early stages of Jacob's trouble, the early stages of the end of Babylon the Great. So walk in wisdom, redeeming the time.
The early stages of our salvation. Of our eternal dominion.
Yeah, our salvation is nearer than when we believe.
Hey, and it's even near, it seems like it's taking its time, but we are much closer than we think. We're at the door. Any other point you want to make?
That's it.
Hey, so with that, we hope you sincere Akim and Akwat out there were edified by this lesson. And remember, patience is wisdom. So walk in patience, walk in wisdom, and you'll find you'll have a lot of stress leave you, and you'll make your walk in these trials of yours in the truth that much easier. Okay, so again, with that, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahawah, bahasham, YAHAWASHI, bahasham, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim and Akwat out there. And y'all enduring to the end. Ababa Ball.
Ababa Ball.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Shalawam.
Shalawam.